It's a great day for baseball. Finals baseball at that, too. And two teams that were close in the regular season battling out. It is the State League Men's Division I semifinals, one of the three series going on. Yesterday, we were at West Torrens. Today, we bring you action from Henley and Grange Baseball Club, where they have a 1-0 lead over the Cardinals. And Cardinals were pretty good versus Henley during the season, but Henley won Game 1, 9-0. Good evening, everybody. I'm Eric Ballnar, and joined in commentary, my first time calling a game, with this guy, a former ABL player and longtime umpire of pretty much every level, Ian Revel. Rev, thanks for joining me.
No worries, Eric. Thank to be here, mate. It's going to be fun.
It should be a good game, and we're going to jump right into it. And the man on the mound, Landon Hernandez, he's the reigning Caps medalist. Turns out this guy who, when I was introduced to him 5-6 years ago, he was just smashing the ball left, right, and center. Turns out he can pitch too, and he's got the ball for a pretty important game today.
Yeah, when I first started umpiring, Landon was out at Golden Grove and was a catcher. But he does have a very strong arm.
Kosei Suzuki leads things off for the Kensington Cardinals, and Kosei, arguably, if you talk to some players over at Kensington, they say he might be one of their most valuable players. Can play anywhere in the infield, plays in the outfield, and he had a pretty handy average this year too.
He's a great leadoff. As I said, he's got good contact on the ball and can put the ball over the fence, so he's a really good player.
Landon Hernandez is not going to overwhelm you with power, but he can still throw pretty firm, can he?
He certainly can, and as I said, today is going to be a thing about trying to reduce the amount of pitches you throw, because you want to try to go as long into the game as possible.
Kosei puts this into play. It goes foul, goes past Liam Bull. Henley, a couple key outs in this world we live with COVID close contact and protocol rules. So no Jack Partington, no Jordy Gross. I'm sure they're sitting at home watching the stream right now, but those are two Adelaide Giants that they're missing in the lineup, and pretty effective ones.
Very effective, and as I said, Partington would have to be one of the best outfielders going around in the league this year.
Suzuki, first pitch, or our first hit of the game, right out towards center field, bounces in front of Arnold, and a leadoff runner to start the game for the Cardinals.
That was good contact. As I said, that pitch was probably just a little up, and he's just got the bat out and just stroked it into center field.
Jordy Gross probably would have been the guy you'd think that would have got Game 2 as the starter. That man on screen for Henley and Grange pitched Game 1, and he was masterful yesterday, Wilson Lee.
He's just outstanding, Wilson Lee.
Won a Caps medal a few years ago, the last full season he played in South Australia.
Been spending a bit of time overseas in the off-season, and transferred over to Henley Grange this year, and it's definitely helped their cause down here.
Landon Hernandez, a player on the mound now. He played university baseball with University of Hawaii. He is an American-born player, moved over here. He's now got some kids and an Aussie partner, and this is his home now in Henley and Grange. He is firmly entrenched here. Him coming over to Henley and Grange was one of the big starts of this big rebuild and rejuvenation they've had over at Rams camp.
Yeah, it's taken them a few years, but they've finally got there. They've brought some players into the club, and it's really suited their program down here.
This year's championship or bust, it feels like, in the Rams camp.
Yes, indeed. As I said, you can't discredit Kensington. They'll still keep fighting.
Nick Platten up to bat. They beat Kensington twice this year, and Greg Moselle was a key part in a couple of those games.
And he's going to be a massive part today. That if he can hold these Henley Grange hitters, it'll go a long way for them taking a win here today.
Thanks to Henley and Grange for bringing us the stream today. Should give a big shout out to them right off the top of the broadcast, especially that big circle of pubs that are all their major partners, whether it be at the Ramsgate, the Exeter, and Semaphore, Henley Beach Hotel, Findon Hotel, Lynx Hotel. There's a number of them. They should be popping the stream up at any of those places.
Doesn't matter where you get your sponsorship dollars from.
Platten down on strikes. This is the lineup for Kensington. Kosei Suzuki leads things off. Nick Platten, he just struck out. But the middle of the lineup coming up now, Austin Gallagher led the competition in home runs, followed by Michael Bishop. He also had 10. Riley Moore, he smashed a few as well. And then the bottom of the lineup, they're going to need to produce today. Nick Carfura, Jordy Spratt, Nick Whelan, and Bryce Allen. A little bit of different look today than what Kensington did yesterday, and it makes sense because their bats were absolutely stifled, although they're not playing a lefty like they were yesterday either.
No, but as I said, Yeah, there's a big difference with having Wilson Lee on the mound. He just absolutely dominated yesterday, and that's just having that extra pace on the ball. He's got good variation, and then his bat can play as well. I was down at West Torrens yesterday, and I heard that he hit a 3-run bomb, so he's having an absolutely cracker of a year. Unfortunately, he got here so late to start the season, so that might hurt his caps medal.
Might
hopes.
is the key word.
Might.
It will sort of put a little bit of a dent on them, but he's had so many special games that he might be getting 3 votes and 8 or 9 of them kind of automatically, it feels like. This one poked towards right field. This one might have some eyes and having to scamper back to first.
Henley Grange have put a bit of a switch on in centre right there. Centre fielder was shading on the right-hand side just to take away that power that Austin does have over the right side. And it worked well in that situation.
Tyson Arnold making the catch. Jack Partington, and can't be understated how big of a loss that is in center field. Tyson Arnold, no, he's a very capable player, don't get me wrong, but Jack Partington, on my list at least, when you're looking at Team of the Year, he's probably one of 4 or 5 outfielders that would be on the short list.
Very short list. As I said, he's just got such great wheels and a great presence of picking up the ball early, and he stops a lot of hits just due to that fact.
Michael Bishop. This is Mr. Kensington, team captain of the Cardinals, a guy that's worked his way up the ladder as a senior player in Kensington, was playing 3s and he was playing 2s, and in the middle of now 3 seasons ago, he gets his A-grade opportunity, and it wasn't until the back half of last year where he really started to feel like he belonged, and he's rewarded Kensington with back-to-back years of double-digit home runs.
He's a good power hitter. As I said, he's worked his butt off, and now he's a regular in the senior team, and as I said, he's the team captain.
He's been a big factor in Super League games as well. Landon Hernandez working on the mound. Leadoff runner was aboard. 0-2 count, going just a little bit down low.
As I said before, Eric, that it's all going to be about reducing the amount of pitches you throw per inning so that you can push that 125 pitch limit, and you get to the deep into the game. As I said, both clubs will suffer, and I said all 6 clubs that are in the finals are going to suffer late in the series if they go to game 3, just for the fact that the clubs are not strong in the arm department.
Well, this is how big the game is for Henley Grange, as it's a 1-2 count.
Yep, this is a must-win.
Bishop turns on one. They used 6 pitchers during the season, Henley Grange. Wilson Lee was one of them. He was used yesterday. He can't pitch today. No. Phil Acosta pitched 1 out during the season, so he was kind of the 5 and a maybe, but he can pitch. He's pitched before, but he only pitched 1 out. Jack Partington pitched 7 innings. He's out with COVID. Yes. Jordy Hodges, he's in isolation. Jordy Gross, he's in isolation. So Landon Hernandez, who pitched 46 innings, which isn't a huge number, is going to have to go deep today, and then it's going to be a lot of questions. After that, Landon was starting to walk off the mound, but he didn't go around, so it is a 2-2 count.
No, Jack Chadray's asked for help from Neil Polton, the base umpire, whether he went around on that pitch, and Neil's made a good call there.
It's a tough perspective to see sometimes behind the plate if they really did go all the way around.
As I said, it's a judgment call, and a lot of people just don't understand that, we have to make those judgment calls, but that time, Jack's asked for some help.
Bishop, good at bat, taking some pitches, fouling them away.
And this is what Kensington are going to have to do today, because you've got to get into Henley Grange's bullpen, because you're not sure what they've got left over there. And as I said, COVID's definitely hurt them. So, they're going to have to really push everything today.
It's a next man up approach. They had some COVID cases go through their team earlier in the season. They also had a lot of players out with the Giants. So this isn't something that Henley Grange is a stranger to, rather.
No.
No club really is, to be honest, anymore.
Unfortunately, COVID's hurt every club at some point. Kensington went through it in January, and now, unfortunately, it's just got Henley Grange at the wrong part of the season.
It's amazing. There was so much stigma around it earlier, and now it's like if you don't get it, it's amazing. It's a swing and a miss from Bishop. It was a good effort, and Landon Hernandez allows a hit, but then strikes out 2 coming back, and Henley continue to blank Kensington. Eric Ballnar, Ian Revel calling the action for you. Mark Bull's going to join us a little later in the broadcast. Rev, thanks so much for joining me. But you haven't been, as some of the sponsors, by the way, these are the West Torrens sponsors. We got to get the We got to get the Henley and Grange sponsors up there, Dave Muggleton. He's on it. But thanks so much, Rev. You've been out of action though behind the plate or in the field the last since what, ABL season?
Basically, about the 6th of February, I did my last game. Woke up one morning, and the back had played up, and I've just had surgery 10 days ago, so just trying to get over that.
But you're still around the baseball diamond.
Yeah, mate, you can't get me away from it. It's in the blood. I've been doing baseball since I was 14 years of age, and I'm just turned 58, so I just love the game.
Well, here is the batting lineup today for Henley and Grange, and it's a good one, even without guys like Jack Partington in the lineup. Darcy Barry, he's got a lot of speed, followed by back-to-back Caps medalists in Wilson Lee and Landon Hernandez, and then a guy that's played in the World Baseball Classic in Bass Noy, and then a guy that hit around 400 for the Adelaide Giants in the exhibition ABL season in Liam Bull, and then another guy that plays in the ABL in Griffin Weber. Oh, and then we're going to go in a guy who's going to be on the short list for maybe Team of the Year, hitting well over 300 at second base in Koki Yanazawa. And then we've got Tyson Arnold, who is a very capable player. If it weren't for the transfer points, he'd probably be an everyday player here, followed by Phil Acosta, who's been excellent as that ninth leadoff. This lineup is heavy.
It is very heavy. As at, where are we looking at? I missed him. That's
Koki?
Okay. I'll get. Yeah, as I said, no, I was just going to talk about Tyson Arnold. He had a bit of an injury in January, and he's come back from that. And as I said, and Henley Grange is a tough team to get into, and luckily, you get your chances with COVID the way it is at the moment. So you've got to grab them and get your hits today and let the coaches know.
He's hitting 286 and he's hitting in the 8-hole. That's production from the 8th spot.
That is very productive.
On the mound, though, Greg Moselle, a longtime arm in the Australian Baseball League. He's been an ABL All-Star, pitching for Team Australia before, pitched for the Bite, pitched for the Giants, and Greg Moselle has had some good seasons in the past. In fact, he's a former Adelaide Bite Pitcher of the Year. Pitched 76 and a third innings this year, a 7-4 record. Was used as a starter, was used as a reliever. Doesn't walk a lot of guys. Strikes out about one person per inning. That whip right around 1 and an ERA of 3.3. When Greg Moselle is on, he is one of the best pitchers in this state.
Most definitely. And as I said, I've been watching Greg over the last few years, and he's got an unusual pitching style. It's very whippy. But it works well. He uses his wrist and brings the ball to the batter, so he throws a heavy fastball.
Darcy Barry leading things off. He fouls it away. He's had a very special last 8 or 9 months as well. Barry committed to go to college, which he'll go off to in the next start of the next American school season.
As I said, he's just developed this year, and he's really just starting to turn it on, and I wish him all the best when he goes to the States.
And he ended up getting that opportunity to play for the Adelaide Giants this year, and he did not waste an opportunity at all. He was unbelievable. He hit over 300. He had those memorable games in Melbourne where he had multiple hits and was up in the team leaders in RBIs, but he chases one off of Greg Moselle, and that's the first out.
That's a good breaking ball by Greg Moselle there. Started it as a strike and it moved out of the zone, but he made Darcy Barry commit to it. But as I said, I was just going to say that Darcy Barry's only a little guy, and as I said, you don't have to be big to play baseball. You put the ball on, you can run, you can field. You don't have to be the 6'4" guys. You can be the 5'7" like myself.
Former pitcher in the ABL, Ian Revel. Wilson Lee up to the plate, and man, only 23 games played this year. He missed the first 7, and in his first 2, he didn't even record a hit, Wilson Lee. However, that changed in a hurry. 10 home runs, 34 RBIs, and he swings at this. This one's going back to the wall, and it drops over the fence. The amazing Mr. Willie Lee has done it again. It's a solo shot, and it's 1-0 Henley and Grange.
That's a very flat hit that he's hit there, and that wasn't a bad pitch. It wasn't up in the zone. I had that down in the zone, and he's just got enough of it, and he's just lasered that ball.
This guy is he a joke? Like, is this real?
He's just an absolute phenomenal talent. You've known, he came from the Northern Territory, and he's been a shining light ever since he started baseball.
Didn't hit 400 this year, but hit 398. So
Yeah. As I said, and he missed the first 8 weeks.
Yeah, and he struggled at the plate in his first 2 games back, and then he came back in a big way. 10 home runs in the regular season, 34 RBIs, walked 12 times, had an on-base percentage of near 500. And if Wilson Lee wasn't hard enough, how about Landon Hernandez?
As I said, they've got a very strong lineup. You go Wilson Lee, then you go Landon, then Bus comes in there. As I said, it's tough to be a pitcher these days.
Hernandez won the Caps medal last season, and he's a two-way player that's going to pull some votes again this year. Problem is he's going to have guys like Wilson Lee, Jack Partington, Darcy Berry, Jordy Gross, all who are going to take votes away from each other.
And that's the problem, as I said, when you've got a team of talent like this, blokes are going to take votes off of you. So, as I said, I'm not sure where the Caps medalist is going to come from this year.
I feel like it's going to be tight as Greg Moselle comes back with a strikeout, and that's a big one for him.
Very big. He's using his break ball very effective early in this game. As I said, he's getting these guys to commit to pitches that are probably not strikes, but they look like strikes, and then they fall out of the strike zone, and he's getting them chasing those pitches, which is exactly what you want to do.
Basnoy and Greg Moselle, they're good friends. They played together for a long time. Basnoy was over at Kensington last year. And how much does Kensington's roster change if Basnoy is catching the game today and Austin Gallagher is the one over at third base?
Yes, that would make a major difference. As I said, it's, blokes leave and change clubs for various reasons, and Bus lives around the corner from Henley Grange.
Just had a kid?
Yes, that pitch was up in the zone, but Bus liked it, and he swung hard, fouled it off.
And Bass has gained some dad strength since he's had a kid. He's finished the season red hot.
It's all of a sudden he's had a child, and he just looks a more relaxed man, and he's swinging the bat a lot better, making better choices in the batting box.
0-2 count. Greg Moselle trying to strike out the side. Instead, this is going to be grounded over towards short. Scoop by Suzuki. He makes the play.
As I just said, Eric, that breaking ball seems to be working really well for Greg at the moment, and he's got all of his outs through that pitch.
It is a 1-0 Henley Grange lead. Thanks to the Henley Grange Rams for putting on the line stream. It's 1-0 in game number 2. Finals Sunday as Landon Hernandez has the ball for Henley Grange. They lead 1-0 in the series, 1-0 in the game. Finals is a fun kind of weekend in South Australia because you go from just playing Saturday, Tuesday, or just Saturday, Tuesday, and a mixture of those games. Now, all of a sudden, you go from playing 1 game a week, sometimes 2 games a week, to potentially 27 innings in a 24-hour span. It changes things a lot, doesn't it, Ian Revel?
It certainly does. As I said, it's you've got your regular pitches throughout the year, but then come finals, and that's what's happened with Sturt yesterday. They dropped a game against South. Using one of their best pitchers, and now they're going to have to fight hard to get 2 wins today.
Riley Moore up to bat, leading things off. Swings through it. He's got a little bit of power, Riley Moore, this year. A two-way player this season for him. He's hitting around that 250 mark, just hitting with an over 300 on-base percentage. Pitch just hugs the corner of the plate, gets the second strike. So quickly ahead, Landon Hernandez throws a lot of first pitch strikes, and he's doing that again.
Does indeed. As I said, he regularly...
Drop third strike. Basnoy scoops, fires one down. 3 strikeouts for Landon Hernandez in his first 4 outs of the game.
Just noticing that both pitchers are using their breaking ball very effectively here at the start of the game, and a lot of guys are swinging, which is great. You want to see them swing. But yeah, Greg Mosell's throwing well, and then Landon's just picked up a strikeout there. Dropped third strike, but got the play at first.
Nick Carfora up to bat now for Kensington. Around the grounds, by the way, Goodwood raced out to a 5-0 lead over at West Torrens, but West Torrens have clawed a couple back. They've made it a 5-2 game as this hit down the left side. And the top offense in the competition, that's Sturt. They came out guns a-blazing, especially in 2022, going 15-1 down the stretch, winning games sometimes by scores of 11-1, 10-1. They were shut out yesterday versus Southern Districts, and today they're through 2 innings and there's no score. So they've now gone over double-digit innings without scoring a run.
Yeah, as I said, it's shocked me a little. Sturt are a good powerhouse hitting team.
Baseball's a funny game, though. And on one weekend, you can get hot and you can feel good the whole weekend, or you can be cold, and all of a sudden, these 2 days go by really quick, don't they?
They do, and your finals campaign could be over just in the blink of an eye. Landon's got in front of the count here early.
Classic from Landon Hernandez. Carfora just has to protect. Watching Landon a lot over the years, he throws a lot of first pitch strikes, but he doesn't usually find the middle of the plate. It's always these edges that he seems to be grabbing.
As I said, he works his art very well. He said you've got to keep it away from the middle of the plate, get the edges, and hopefully you get an umpire that calls lots of edges for you.
And when he starts locating that slider, that's when it becomes hard.
That's the key. As I said, it's a tough pitch. If you keep it down, it's only going to give batters ground balls, which is what you want.
Barreled towards center field. Arnold moving in. He's reaching down, and he didn't quite make the grab, so Nick Carfora getting the second hit of the game.
And there's a situation. I know Tyson Arnold's moved into the center field spot, taking Jack Partington's spot due to COVID, but that'd be a ball that Jack Partington would have just swallowed.
The cowboy out in center field for Henley Grange has made a lot of highlight reel plays this season.
Has indeed.
And he's got some of the best speed in the game. Spratt up to bat. Jordy Spratt. There's a few Spratts hanging around. There's a lot of Spratts wandering around the place. Another recruit this year for Kensington. Henley and Grange had a couple notable off-season recruits. Darcy Berry, Wilson Lee, Bass Noy, Tyson Arnold, 4 of them in the lineup today.
Yeah.
Kensington is very similar, although they're going a bit of a different age group. While Henley and Grange have players that are very much in their prime, like Wilson Lee and guys. Darcy Berry was on he's been in that all-star conversation before. Yeah, Jordy Spratt, one of them.
Kensington went down the route of, they've looked for a few younger players to develop. It's definitely had to be a swing there.
Check third string. They're going to try to get the runner at second, and that airmails into center field. Carfora was already down, so it was the drop third strike, but it's not going to matter. It's going to be a free base over at first, and for the first time today, Kensington have a runner in scoring position.
That's not a very heads-up play, unfortunately, there by Buss. Ball goes to the backstop. That's a long throw over to get the guy going into second. I would have been taking the easy option and get the out at first.
Have 2 outs and have the runner in scoring position.
Would have given him 1 out. Would have given him 1. 2 outs.
Yeah, it would have been the second out if they got it at first.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that throw would have had to be perfect if they had any chance.
Had to be inch perfect.
So now a chance for Whelan at the bottom of the lineup. 8 and 9 batters coming up.
Landon just needs a breaking ball here. Get him to hit into a double. That's a double play.
He's ahead 0-2. Landon Hernandez racing ahead early in counts.
And just, Eric, that's those extra outs that you don't want today. You just need to make sure that you get every out when you get the opportunity, and that one went begging for Kensington. Probably should have taken the easy option and gone to first, get the out.
Take your medicine.
Yep.
Whelan, Josh Whelan just staying alive, getting enough contact to tip it foul. Just adding another pitch On a very hot day for pitchers today, that sun's going to be beating you down the longer you stay out in an inning, isn't it?
It was like yesterday. There was just no breeze, and yeah, that heat, 32 degrees, and I think it's about the same today. It's just it'll zap you.
Whelan puts it foul again. Does that take the energy out of you as a pitcher when you're standing there the longer an inning goes?
I've spoken to a few pitchers in regards to this, and I actually found that I concentrated more when it was hot, because you knew you had to be on your game, so it just made you concentrate that a little bit more, and which meant you didn't feel the heat as much.
What about as an umpire when you got a guy like Neil Poulton standing out in the middle of the sun, or even behind the plate? Treaders, it's got to be beaten down there.
It is warm, as I said. You don't get that chance in between innings to go and sit down and take the gear off. You're in the gear all the time, so yeah, just keep your fluids up and make sure you keep your concentration levels up.
Especially when you have to do maybe 2 days today?
Today, yeah, it's going to be a tough day. If Kensington happen to snatch a win, Neil Poulton will come in and plate the third game. And as I said, that's 18 innings out in the field. It's going to be a tough day.
It's a lot of focus.
A lot of focus.
Swing and a miss. Landon Hernandez, that actually would be his third strikeout of the inning. Unfortunately, one was a drop third strike, so that's his 5th one of the day.
Yeah, he's got Josh Whelans just chasing that pitch that was up.
Wasn't that just two outs? I thought that was 2 outs because it was a drop third strike that advanced it.
Have we missed something?
Did we miss something? Didn't Riley Moore strike out, and then Nick Carfora singled? Then Jordy Spratt on the drop third strike got the guy advanced to first, and it was runners on first and second.
I don't know. Just let him go.
Well, no one's putting up too much of a... We must have missed something.
Who was...
Do we have the replay of the last batter? Who was up to... What do you know? Maybe we're just going crazy. Let's look at Game Changer. But we very much appreciate everybody joining us for the broadcast today, and especially everybody at Henley and Grange who have put on a show once again for us here. ALH Group and all their pubs that they've been doing. They've been a big sponsor here. Century 21 and Bill Johnson, really appreciate all their effort there. MC Sportswear, come on, let's go. You can't go wrong at all. And then of course, everybody from the city of Charles Sturt, Fairmont Homes, Fulham Funerals, West, Thorn Constructions, Electric Results, Westlake's Foodland, Ben Crete, Enzo's at Home, First Things First Coffee. That's a good spot. First Things First Coffee, and Aaron Bach setting that up. Bortec and Adam Rowe, Prescriptive Therapy, Nicholas Kluzak, Tony DeMasi, Harcourts Plus, Monica Furness, Harcourt Shepherd, Florit, Debt Mold, Baker's Delight, Paint Supplies, Peak Machinery, R&B Hughes, and Consulting. Just a big, well, what do we call it, a Ramily here? The Rams family setting things up. So here we are having a big day in Game 2 of the finals. Leading things off in this inning, Liam Bolt. What a fantastic season Bully had playing over at Henley and Grange. And also, of course, with the Adelaide Giants as this pitch finds the strike. David Muggleton, our reporter.
It was 3 outs. The drop third strike is an automatic out because there was a runner on base.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you. David Muggleton helping us out big time. Shows what we know, calling the games. Liam Bull takes another pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Right now in this 1-0 game, nobody on base. Wilson Lee has the home run, and Bull sends one towards center field. That drops in front of Bryce Allen, and it's a leadoff runner for the Rams. Josh Wheeling, Bryce Allen, and Jordy Spratt from left to right in the outfield. Nick Carfora at third base. Kosei Suzuki at short. Nick Platten at second. Mike Bishop at first. And Austin Gallagher is the man catching behind the plate. Griffin Weber, another big-time player. He's got some ABL time, was a full-time player this year with the Giants in the exhibition season. Turns on the first pitch, scoop for one, looking for the double play, and Bishop reach out and grabs it. Suzuki to Platten to Bishop, and as quickly as Henley and Grange have a base runner, it's taken away on the base pass as Griffin Weber grounds into a double play. Look at the replay. Kosei Suzuki, who has really emerged as a jack of all trades, a Kosei of all trades in the middle, flips to Nick Platten, who's had a big second half of the year, and Bishop brings that one easily. Koki Yanazawa, what an opportunity he had this year. He cemented himself as one of the premier players in the competition. He hit .340, an on-base percentage of over .405, but he's going to ground out, and that's a very quick inning and a very efficient one. Both teams struggling with pitching depth just a little bit, and Greg Moselle gets, what, a 4 or 5 pitch inning? And it's a 1-0 lead after 2. We'll be back. Bryce Allen, the center fielder, leading things off for Kensington. Eric Balnar, Ian Revel calling the action. Mark Bull going to be joining me shortly as well. We'll get to hear a bit about Henley and Grange and what's going on over here. But Landon Hernandez cruising right now. He's got 5 strikeouts. He just struck out the side. And he's looking the goods and keeping the Kensington Bats, which have yet to get a run in the finals, at bay.
Yeah, just starting to nibble away at those edges. He's not going to put the ball over the plate. Just falling behind the count at this time of bat against Bryce. But he's such a good pitcher that he'll bounce back.
Allen right towards left field and just having to kneel down as Griffin Weber, and it's out number 1.
This has been the beauty of Henley and Grange, that they've got that versatility. You know, Griff was brought over from West Torrens as their catcher, and then all of a sudden Basnouge became available to them this season, and yeah, they've just been able to work Griff into the outfield and put Bas behind the dish.
Landon Hernandez, only 8 walks this season in 46 innings pitched.
Very economical, very economical.
The whole pitching staff allowed just 73 walks in 232 innings pitched. That is an average of .3 an inning, or just under 3 a game.
That's good. That's good quality.
So when you're only walking 2 or 3 batters, it's keeping free bases limited. As Kosei Suzuki, who's got a single, battles one away. The team as a whole has a whip of 1.
Wow. That's crazy.
And a team ERA of 2.25.
As I said, they're not giving up many runs.
On the other side, Kensington have an ERA as a team of 4.5 and a whip of 1.36. But a whip of 1 that's hard to score runs when you're only allowing 1 walker hit in every inning.
That's exactly right. As I said, and I hate to see what Mitch Newenborn, what his averages and what his numbers would be, because he's been absolutely lights out.
In this season, it was 1 earned run for Mitch Newenborn.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And a whip of 0.6 something. Hernandez battling back, has Suzuki on 2 strikes. He scoops down and scoops it towards center field. Arnold settles in and makes the play. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, Kensington just got to flatten the ball out a bit, putting the ball up in the air, making it very easy catches for Henley Grange's outfield. As I said, we're only in the 3rd inning, so yeah, as I said, a long way to go yet in this game.
Nick Platten, he's had a really nice second half in particular this year, hitting .316.
Nick Platten's one of my little leaguers back from
Really?
2012.
Nick Platten is.
Yes.
He's still little, but he's not.
No.
He's a bit bigger now.
You're bigger than me. No, as I said, we've got a lot of players that played back in 2011 and 2012 in those little league days with Bert Weber and myself and Chris McCardle.
It was a pretty good team, that team.
We had a very, very good team. Ended up winning the national championships.
You did.
And headed off to Guam.
Who was on those teams? Can you remember out some of those the roster?
Yes.
Geordie
McCardle, Mitchell Lightbody.
Yep.
Zach Lunnan, Barry Lunnan, who's won a heap of Cups medals many years ago. He's a young lad.
Platten towards left field. This one is going to fall into the glove of Griffin Weber. So a bit better contact here for Kensington this inning after they struck out their last 4 outs prior, but still nothing to show for it. At the end of it, it's just been 2 over the minimum for Landon Hernandez and a pretty good start.
Very efficient, very.
Big thanks once again to the Henley and Grange Baseball Club for putting on a show and getting this game broadcast today. ALH Group, you got a favorite one of these pubs here, Rev? So I live near the Ramsgate. I do go to the Ramsgate a little bit. I also live near Henley Beach, but Lynx Hotel is a good one. Cooper's Ales and Jepp's Cross. Have you been there since refurbishments a few years ago?
I have indeed. We've had a couple of umpire meetings out there, but
yeah.
I was a regular at the Finnan Hotel.
Yes.
I grew up in the Seaton area, went to Finnan High School, and Finnan Hotel was definitely a regular for me.
So big thanks to Andrew Gunn. Grant McCarron, he's a legend of Henley and Grange as well, and MC Sportswear. They've been a big long-term partner, not just of Henley and Grange, but a lot of other clubs around baseball and softball community. Great shop to go to, and then a big long list of everybody in the Ram family down here who have done a fantastic job of putting on a great community event. I was down here a little bit early just to catch the end of that minor league game that Henley was there, and I was amazed. So many people out here in the Rams family, a lot of them sponsors as well. It's a good little setup down here at Henley and Grange.
Yeah, baseball's really turning it on with a family environment, which is what we want. You know, we want to try and grab as many of these kids as possible because, baseball, unfortunately, is a minor sport in Australia, and, the more people we can get involved, the more we can grow the sport.
Big thanks to everybody at the Henley and Grange Rams for getting this live stream up and allow the people, especially in a time like COVID where you have some key players that I know are watching, Jack Partington and Jordy Gross. Surely that's what they're doing on this Sunday morning, watching, saying. So good day to those boys, the Rooster, watching at home in his pen.
Yeah, no, as I said, it'd be frustrating for them. Unfortunately, COVID just does that to everyone, and as I said, they'll be having their fingers crossed and toes crossed to make sure that Henley and Grange get through this series and move on to next week. And I'm not sure if they come out of their isolation by next weekend, but all the best to those boys.
Tyson Arnold leads things off for the inning, and Greg Moselle, who had that 4 or 5 pitch inning the last time, it was a very quick hit from Liam Bull, who turned on one to center field. First pitch swing for Griffin Weber, and then a first pitch swing on a ground out for Koki Yanazawa. One of those was a double play mixed in there. And Greg Moselle now starting to become a little bit more efficient as he is now ahead 0-2.
As I said, Greg's just really efficient here today, and there's a pitch that's just missed the outside edge.
I think it was right where he wanted to throw it.
Yep. Just trying to get Tyson Arnold to maybe just swing at that one, just get a cheap out. But Jack Tregeray said that's off the plate.
A little half pepper swing from Tyson Arnold goes foul.
But as I said earlier, Eric, that Greg just looks like he's on today, and it's great to see that he's having a good outing here. So it's only early, and I said hopefully we don't put the mockers on him.
Up the middle, over towards Platten. He scoops on the backhand. It's going to have to be a good play, and he just makes it. off the backhand, he had enough time. It was a bang-bang play. We're going to get a good look at the replay.
Yeah, that ball hit the second base. Unfortunately, Nick Platten's let that ball play him. He should have probably attacked that ball a bit more, which would have made it a bit easier for him. But he's still got the play out.
Just.
It
was a good bring in there from Michael Bishop at first.
And as I said, it's great to see these replays. It shows you, sometimes that the plays that the umpires have to call, they are close. And everyone wants that decision to go their way. But we make our decisions based on what we see, and sometimes the crowd aren't happy with us.
Phil Acosta, very effective number 9 hitter in the competition. On base percentage of .379, Phil Acosta. So he is a very patient hitter. He gets a lot more walks.
Deeds indeed.
16 of them on the season. He's only got 20 hits. Say only 20 is not a bad number in a long season, but he does find ways to get on base, and that is all you need because guys like Jack Partington and Darcy Berry at the top of the lineup are effective.
As I said, yeah, Phil's one of those guys that he'll pick up his walks, and that just helps the team, especially when you've got such a dominant hitting lineup like Henley Grange do have.
Greg Moselle with his 3rd strikeout of the game. He has retired everybody he's faced except for Wilson Lee, who hit a home run over the left field wall back in the 1st inning, the 2nd batter of the game.
That was a tracer bullet. But he's settled down. As I said, he hasn't let that get on top of him, and he's got back and he's doing a great job out there on the hill.
Kensington are going to need to keep the bats at bay because Henley don't allow a lot of runs themselves. So you figure anything more than 2 or 3 runs against this Henley team becomes difficult. And Greg Moselle is a pitcher that is more than capable of doing that.
He certainly is. But as I said, yeah, Kensington have got to play errorless baseball and take their opportunities when they come to them.
Ball in the dirt, takes a skip.
Yeah, coming off of a 9-0 loss yesterday, Kensington would be seething after that, not putting in a good performance. So they want to come out here and show everyone that, hey, we are a contention team to play in these finals.
Well, Henley and Grange do not have pitchers available for Game 3 because they don't have Jordy Gross, Jack Partington, or Jordan Hodges available, or Wilson Lee, or Landon Hernandez. So they don't have any of their regular pitchers at all available for Game 3 if it goes there.
Yep.
This is a must-win game for Henley, and talking to Russell Hart before the game, that was it. He's got to roll the dice a little bit more here, knowing that you don't want to take that chance in Game 3.
He'd be sweating it over there on this game.
And another strikeout from Greg Moselle, so he is looking the goods. 3 up, 3 down. It's a 1-0 ball game. We'll take a quick break. I think Mark Bull will join us on the other side. Rev, we'll see you later in the game. Welcome back to Henley Grange Baseball Club. It's Game 2 of the best-of-3 series. The Rams lead 1-0 in the series. They lead 1-0 in the game thanks to a Wilson Lee home run. Landon Hernandez on the mound, Austin Gallagher at the plate, Eric Ballnar now joined by Mark Bull from Henley Grange. Bully, thanks for joining. What's going on?
Not much, Eric. COVID's had an influence on everyone.
Oh, my goodness. Has it ever?
Yeah, last-minute call up this morning. The president's he's a close contact, so here I am.
Yeah, and the president's son, who's been, how's Jordy Hodges been in the last half of the season? He's pitched over 30 innings this year. He's been spectacular.
He's been really good for the club. A young guy that we're trying to bring through the ranks. He's done his apprenticeship, pitched really well in Division 2, and has really stepped up Division 1 now.
He's probably a bit ahead of schedule in terms of the numbers that he was putting up in the last really third of the season when he was getting those bulk innings. Hernandez, a rare walk from Landon Hernandez. He's only walked 8 batters all season long, and for the second time today, Kensington have a leadoff runner. Although I think you got to be a little cagey towards that man that's walked on first.
I think if you're going to be careful on anyone, Austin Gallagher's the man you want to be careful on. You throw something down the middle, he can put it over the fence without any problems.
16 home runs for Austin Gallagher this year. I think teams know that, too, that if you have Austin Gallagher in the leadoff spot, you might say, you know what, fine, just off you go.
But you do have this man, Bishop, next, and he can do a lot of damage as well.
He certainly can. He's been flirting in the top 5 of the RBIs all season long, and he finished with 35, which was in the top 5 in the competition. Austin Gallagher with 37.
Yeah, Bishop's a definite danger here. He can hit that long flat ball. No fence is big enough for him.
Just like Wilson Lee's big shot in the first inning.
He's very much like Wilson Lee. That's very similar.
So Hernandez back to his regular pole position when battling batters at the 0-2 count. Bishop struck out already in this game.
Yeah, when Landon gets ahead of you don't get too many easy hits. That's for sure.
What's a guy like Landon? I mean, you've seen, well, obviously, I mean, with Liam being part of the team and you being around the team, Liam's been here forever. But Landon, what's been the difference that he's had on some of those kids like your Liam Bulls since he's come to the club? What, 5 years ago now? He's been here a while.
I think it's more like 6 or 7 years. He's a great guy to have around. Doesn't say a lot, but when he talks, that the young guys listen. It's that experience factor. And having been in Baseball SA as like a junior development guy, a lot of these guys have been coached by him as well.
Check swing, and he went around.
Great pitch by Landon. Just took something off that one.
And Landon Hernandez now has 6 strikeouts here in the 4th inning. He had 48 strikeouts in his 46 innings of work during the regular season. Gonna have to look through and see how many times Landon Hernandez went more than 7-8 innings in a game this year. Only the 46 innings this season. Darcy Berry scoops, gets the lead runner. It was a hard slide from Austin Gallagher.
Yeah.
Or it was Liam.
That was Liam.
Liam Bull, sorry.
Liam Bull making that one.
Liam Bull, sorry.
Easy. It's a great pickup by Koki at second, though. That was a hard ball to track down.
Liam Bull charging in. And a very quick play, but a tough slide from Austin Gallagher. So the leadoff runner is aboard. Or is retired, sorry. But one is back aboard.
You were saying about like Landon coming into the club. He's a great club guy, really works with the juniors. But Willie Lee has been equally up to that challenge. His influence since Christmas on the whole group has been awesome.
Russell Hart having a little word out there. That was a quick glove from Liam Bull, but I think he's having a chat about the slide that I don't think Hardy was too happy with. At least questioning it.
Yeah, he's asked the question.
Runner for the catcher in. Oh, no, Riley Moore, sorry, that is just over at first base. Austin Gallagher was the one that slid in and broke up that play at second. Carfora swings through it. Landon Hernandez taking a little bit off it. He mixes in that slider really well at times, doesn't he?
You rarely see two the same.
Talked to a couple of Kensington hitters before the game, and they said finding balance versus Landon Hernandez is the challenge.
Yeah.
And another flyout, so a pretty tame inning once again that Landon Hernandez holds Kensington to. So Eric Bullner, Mark Bull calling the action. We're already in the 4th inning, and just the Wilson Lee home run makes it. But Bully, a big year around the club. A few different senior divisions. We're playing grand finals or prelim finals. 3 in the state league divisions have made grand finals, I saw.
Yeah, it's been a really good year for the club right across all our grades. All 8 teams in the seniors look like making it. Division 3 missed out on percentage only.
I know, that's crazy.
But they really copped it hard when we were suffering through COVID, because we were pulling players up continuously, and unfortunately Division 3 were the one that paid that penalty and lost a couple of games in the middle of the year that probably should have had a win and would have helped them at the end of the year. But, you know, in adversity, it just brings out the best with all of the club. You know, everyone had to step up. I think one weekend here we had 18 COVID cases,
That's
5 in the Giants, and I think Landon had to go and work as a police officer. So we really struggled, and I think the under-17s basically played Division 3 that week. So it was an interesting weekend, because I think in that Division 1 we had 2 regular players in that team, and Division 2 that I coached, we were the same. I think we had 2 or 3 guys. Everyone else was from 3s or somewhere else. So it's been a challenge, and even this weekend, you know, we got guys out with COVID this weekend, and you know, as late as Saturday morning, we were making changes. I think we picked
That's not the stability you want on the morning of a finals game.
Yeah, that's right. I think we changed the team Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's just the way it's been all year. And I think, you know, those guys have had opportunities to step up, and I think that's going to hold the club in good stead moving forward.
It really is that next man up approach as Wilson Lee comes up to bat. And that story that you just told about Henley and Grange is remarkable. I do remember that one week where literally it felt like everyone was down. But that has happened at other clubs. Remember Kensington? They lost their entire lineup of Division 1 side at one time due to COVID. Other teams have had to bring up players throughout this, and as a whole across the state, guys are getting opportunities to rise or shine.
Yeah, and we had 5 guys regularly in the Giants this year, which is something different for us, but it's a really good thing. You know, that's what we're trying to do, is bring players up to the next level. And that's presented its own challenges. So
Wilson Lee behind 1-2. And a swing and a miss. So Wilson Lee won round 1 with the only run of the game, that home run. But Greg Moselle gets his 5th strikeout, and it's a big one on Wilson Lee. That's a good point. Yeah, Henley and Grange in years past, you're right, when in the ABL season, there's not those guys that we're playing, and now it's kind of a curse, right? Because it means you have ABL talent.
Yeah.
But
look, and you know, we've attracted some guys to the club over the last few years through our culture and programs and things like that, and you know, you want them to get to that next level. You want them to experience that and come back and be better players for your club. And I think that's happened this year.
Landon Hernandez now up to bat. Yeah, when you have guys like Darcy Berry and Liam Bull getting at-bats for someone like Tim Atherton, it's probably going to teach you a couple things.
I think the boys really struggled when they came back, just the change in level. It took them a couple of weeks when they came back full-time back into the competition to refine their focus at club level.
Yeah, that's very interesting you say that. And I know talking to Max Stagg over at West Torrens, who obviously had a big season in general. He got time with Team Australia. He had those big numbers with the Adelaide Giants. But when he went back to West Torrens, he was really struggling for a little bit. So they gave him the week off and said, don't think about baseball. He came back. He gets a walk-off yesterday, and I think he's back. But
yeah. Max is a great player, great kid. And you're right. Those first couple of weeks back, he was much like Liam and Darcy Barry.
And Pardo.
You know. They were killing it at Giants level when they came back here. And I think everyone has the expectation they're just going to hit every ball, and it just doesn't happen that way.
Full count to Landon Hernandez battling against Greg Moselle, who has been very efficient since giving up that home run to Wilson Lee. Hernandez over towards short. Suzuki, the former Henley and Grange player, across the diamond, makes the play. Kosei Suzuki, well, he was a really handy player last year for Henley and Grange, and he's even taken his game to the next level this year for Kensington.
Yeah, and he always seems to find that little bit extra when he plays us.
Yeah, those home runs he's been hitting.
First game of the year, first at bat, put one over centre field and sort of set the tone, and has done it to us just about every time since. So he's a great kid, and like to get the opportunity, he wanted to play infield, and that was going to be tough at our club. So he made the move, and I think it definitely paid off for him.
Yeah, the Henley infield from left to right there of Bull, Barry, and Yanazawa has been pretty good.
Yeah, they're a pretty tight unit, and they've got better as the year goes on. Their communication is really good. They know how each other plays.
Noy up the middle. Nick Platten
Oh.
has to turn and try to recover, and he's
he
called
took it.
safe. That little bit of a stutter from Nick Platten is going to put a runner on base. We'll get a look at the replay.
Yeah, at this level, you don't have to make too much of an error to be costly, and these guys run the base as well. So good opportunity here to continue this on, get deep into this innings.
Well, now it puts a runner on for Liam Bull. Liam Bull has had a good season with the bat, hitting .330, but the problem for Liam Bull is his RBIs probably aren't reflective of his actual production because he's got 3 guys that seem to score everybody in front of him.
That's true. A lot of times this year, he's pretty well been following up a home run, or maybe a couple of home runs, and it's a bit of a hiding to nothing when you come in that situation.
The RBI is coming from Wilson Lee, Landon Hernandez, and Bass Noy, and then Liam Bull with big numbers sitting there.
Yeah.
He seems to be the guy that gets on base and starts another rally, and then all of a sudden, Darcy Berry and Jack Partington have RBIs at the top of the lineup.
I think batting at 6, he's got a role to play here. He's basically resetting the table.
Bull hits one
I
into
see.
right field. It's a good hit. It rattles over to the right field, and Bass Noy pushing over for third, so it's a base knock for Liam Bull, and out of nothing, it's a runners on the corners for Henley and Grange. It's an interesting one. I get like having Liam Bull at 6 provides so much protection in this lineup, knowing that you have to go and face your likes of Landon Hernandez and Bass Noy head on, because if you pitch around them, well then,
Yeah, I think
good luck.
in the last couple of seasons, we've been a one-man show to a degree, but adding Wilson Lee and Bass to the team, obviously you can't walk around Landon or pitch around him now because you're going to meet one of the others straight after.
It's a similar story here. This whole lineup is pretty heavy in terms of batting. Liam Bull hitting .333, Griffin Weber hitting .308, and somehow that is one of the lowest numbers on the.
There's some scary numbers in there for sure.
And some teams only have 1 or 2 guys that are hitting over 300 in their lineup, and here at number 7 is Griffin Weber. And then Koki Yanazawa's hitting .340.
Koki had a real slow start to the season, but since Christmas, he's really brought it on. He's batted extremely well.
He's going to be in contention for a spot on the team of the year. He'll be in the. I don't know if he'll make it, but it'll be a good conversation to have as Moselle picks, fires, and he makes the play. So, off of the error, Henley put runners on the corners, but Greg Moselle pitching very well, keeping Kensington in it in a must-win game. It's Rams 1, Cardinals nothing. We'll be back after this. Landon Hernandez back on the mound as we're back at Henley and Grange Baseball Club. What a beautiful day down here at Peter Kemp Ballpark.
Sensational, yeah. We named the ballpark yesterday after Peter Kemp, long-time servant of the club. Unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago now, but was recognised yesterday in the ceremony, which was awesome.
Nubbed into right field, and that's going to fall. So the 7, 8, 9 hitters need to get some production going for Kensington, and Jordy Spratt getting it done by putting one to the outfield.
Yeah, they're the hard hits to defend those. You can't set a field for that one.
Can't defend, though. Yeah, that's the pure soft spot right there.
It just says a hit to 8 in the book.
Yeah.
That's what you've got.
Well, Whelan is now up to bat. He'll be followed by Allen if they can get someone on. That would spill trouble for Kosei Suzuki, who I think would want to do some damage here.
Yeah, I think so. But Landon started with another strike, another first strike to a batter.
I saw that Taj Kite was out throwing the first pitch for the game in that ceremony yesterday.
Yeah, he did. He came out and threw the ceremonial pitch. He pitched 4 innings in the Division 2 beforehand. I didn't know if he was going to make it to the plate after that, but he did a great job. It was good to see the whole family here yesterday.
It's great. So that's a big day as his grandfather gets named the ballpark after him, and he gets to throw the first pitch, and he apparently pitched pretty good.
He did. Like a Division 3 pitcher, had to come up to Division 2 due to COVID, and did an outstanding job.
That's awesome. Bryce Allen up to bat. Flew out towards left field, but it was a good battle he had the last time he faced Landon Hernandez. If you asked me at the beginning of the game how I thought this one would go, I'd say there wouldn't be a lot of runs because Greg Moselle has to turn it on to give Kensington a shot, and he has. And Landon Hernandez is just doing exactly what Landon Hernandez I would expect.
Yeah, both of them are quality pitchers. You're not going to get too many easy swings.
It's a tricky one today because both teams don't have a lot of regular scheduled pitchers that are available to go if this one goes to Game 3. And I'm sure both managers would be feeling very nervous about what could happen. This one grounded over towards second. Yanazawa, Barry,
Great double
play.
Great double play.
A 4-6-3 double play, and it is an efficient inning. And you know what? Efficient innings are probably exactly what Russell Hart would be hoping for. Yeah. He had Wilson Lee go the whole game yesterday. If he could get Landon to go the distance.
Yeah, I think one of the strengths of the Rams team is that defensive mindset that they have in that infield. Doesn't let too many through. Don't make a lot of errors. So you're really going to have quality at bats if you want to get in front. So the boys do a really good job defending.
Update from around the grounds, by the way, Sturt have a 5-1 lead over Southern Districts. Now that, if you're a Henley and Grange supporter, that one you're saying, okay, that's good because it gives you some breathing room. The highest seeded losing team advances. Kensington, or obviously Henley in a good position right now, but you wouldn't mind seeing Sturt go through.
Yeah. Well, it gives us a little bit of insurance, obviously, but I think at the end of the day, we believe we can beat any team that's out there, and whoever we play next, it's just another team that we have to beat if we want to be premiers.
Goodwood are up 8-2 in the bottom of the 7th versus West Torrens. So if that holds on, although yesterday around this time it was a 6-run lead for West Torrens, and Goodwood came back and tied it. They're up 8-2 right now. If that holds, then we are going to a Game 3 of Goodwood and West Torrens. And here, well, you know the score. It's a 1-0 game for Henley and Grange.
Goodwood and West Torrens, you can never say it's over in those because both of them have such good batting lineups that they can put on a stack of runs in any one innings and make a game of it. 8-2 sounds pretty comfortable, but West Torrens can turn it on, hit 3 or 4 in the next innings, and it's game on again.
Greg Moselle back on the mound. He's got through 5 innings or 4 innings so far, and he's done that just in 54 pitches. So he's had a nice little ratio, 39 of them for strikes. Landon Hernandez, by the way, 51 strikes, 72 pitches total. First pitch swing. So 120 is where that, it's 120, right? Yeah, 125.
125.
125. So the pitch averages per inning are right on that mark. It's going to get interesting if this pitcher is going to have to be pulled.
That's it. I think both of these guys are going to go pretty deep into this game, if not all the way. So, like I said, getting those double plays, getting an easy innings is really going to help your pitcher to be able to get through to the end. I think it's going to be the key to winning the game.
A swing and a miss for Yanazawa, so it's another strikeout for Greg Moselle. That's number 6 on the day. How do you balance that, Bully, knowing that part of you needs to try to get these pitchers out of the game, because that is when you're going to have opportunity to hit versus guys that aren't regular pitchers. But you also, you want to hit the pitches that you think you can hit, too.
Yeah, for sure. Moselle's probably going to go pretty close to the end of the game, so you're going to have to keep facing him. You got to get some hits. Got to be a little bit choosy when you're in the batting box as well. Don't swing as Koki did in that last one. Swing at one that's off the plate. You really don't want to give Moselle any more opportunities than he needs. Those extra pitches pay dividends when you get to the last few innings.
It might be the difference of him being pulled at the end of the 7th versus the end of the 8th, or maybe going the complete game, 9 innings, and not getting to see some of the secondary pitchers, because there is a difference between the quality, with all due respect, from Moselle down, and same with Hernandez down, right?
That's exactly right.
Up the middle, that goes off Moselle's chest. He's had to make a couple of those plays today, and he safely runs that over and makes the play. So another efficient inning here so far from Greg Moselle. He looks okay. I think it went off his hand, then his chest. We might get a look at the replay.
That's 2 in 2 innings have been hit straight back at him. So he's doing a good job defensively here.
Phil Acosta up to bat. Only 3 over the minimum so far. Phil Acosta's been around the club for a while now, too.
He's someone that gets
trying something different. It's a good bunt down the line, and Carfora just has to eat it. Right after you said he might have to try something a little cheeky. That's about up there on the list.
Exactly what he has to do. But he's people underrate him, but he won our batting trophy last year.
Did he?
He won our batting trophy. He had the best average of Division 1. So people just don't understand. He just gets those little hits, gets those bunts.
How perfect was that?
It's perfect. That's exactly how you want to hit it. Now brings the top of the lineup back up. We've got to keep going through this lineup. We've got to keep Moselle out there pitching. That's the key to winning this game.
What this does is put a whole lot of pressure on there. And Darcy Berry going to try the same thing. Moselle has to barehand it, and the throw is a big collision down the line. Bishop is down. I missed the umpire call.
It'll be an interesting replay here. Did he get back down on the base?
What was the call? I didn't see it on the field.
Called him out.
He called him out. That is a huge called safe?
Oh, I thought the umpire called out.
The Kensington defense walking off the field. This is the replay. Darcy Berry putting some pressure on. Bare hand. I think he just kept the toe on there in a bang play. Just literally, that's a good call from the umpire. But this is how big that play was. We're not going to go to break. We're going to talk through this. Yeah. But had Darcy Berry got on base, you would have a runner on first, runner on second, and Wilson Lee up to bat.
Exactly.
That's huge.
That's a huge call.
And it's by a toenail.
I know the umpires have got a hard job to do. They only get one look at it. They don't have the screen like we do here to review it afterwards, and that was a great call.
Let's see the replay. Do we have that replay again? I think we must. David Muggleton, producer David, is always on this stuff. How's the bare hand, too, for Mosey? Yeah. Oh!
It's a good thing that Bishop's such a tall guy. A normal guy wouldn't have got that. It's twisted his ankle. Yeah.
And it was the awkward one because there's not much Darcy Berry could do. The throw was high. Bishop knew he had to keep his toe on the ground, and Darcy was barreling down the line. He wasn't going to hold up.
It might have some consequences later if he's tweaked that ankle. It might make it a little bit difficult for him when he's batting or running.
Well, we might get a chance to see if he comes to bat or what that looks like, because it'll be Suzuki, Platten, and Gallagher due up. We'll see if they can get it done. But a big thanks here for all of the sponsors here at Henley and Grange for making this live stream possible. We love coming down here. I love doing the Australia Day Eve game this year when you had all the boys down the line, a big club atmosphere down here, some drinks at the bar after. It was a good time.
It was a great night at the club, and it's something we've tried to do over the last couple of years and try to make it a big event night, which was really good. And to have a live telecast just adds to that as well. So they were pretty noisy that night, Eric. You did a good job to keep your concentration.
And they were pretty noisy. There was some music going. They were making use of the bar here. They didn't need to go to any of the pubs from the ALH group that night. Or maybe they went after, maybe down in the Rammy or at the maybe down in Semaphore at the Exeter.
Yeah, I think the Ramsgate gets a fair bit of patronage from the boys at the club.
Yeah, I've seen a few boys. I live in Henley.
Yeah.
I was going to say Henley and Grange. I live in Henley. I think you know the person whose house I live in.
I do, actually. Yeah, I know your landlord.
Yeah.
She says you're a great tenant, Eric.
Oh, she's great, Megan. She's getting a shout out on the broadcast right now. There you go. But I've walked by. I've seen a few of the boys enjoying some time at the sponsor pub down there at the Ramsgate, sitting outside. It's a good spot right out Henley Square.
Perfect spot. The ALH Group has been a great sponsor for quite a few years now. So, and they have quite a few hotels around this area within our zone. So, they get a lot of patronage from the club, and they've been good to us.
Well, Kosei Suzuki has just worked a walk versus Landon Hernandez, and the 2-3-4 batters. We're in the 6th inning right now. There's at least going to be 2 more at-bats from the 2-3-4 batters of Platten, Gallagher, and Bishop.
Yep.
And they're hitting 316, 364, and 337.
Yeah.
There may not be a lot of runs on the card as the runner off the bag, and he might be called. Oh. I thought that maybe he didn't quite reach the bag back.
It'll be an interesting replay.
Wilson Lee is pointing because I thought on the replay it looked like he was just short, right? Oh, he's out.
He's out.
He's out.
There.
He is definitely out.
He never got to the base.
No, I mean, that's a tough one. Like, look where Polton is standing. That's a really tough one, right? Because he can't necessarily see that angle. But the call, that is the right call. He is definitely out. Because you can see him right here. Well, look at that. That's why it would have been tough, because he's looking down here, and he can see.
Yeah, the home plate umpire definitely had a better view on that than the base umpire, so good call in the end.
The ankle was just completely blocked of the view right there, but it's like almost on that dive back, he just got kind of stuck, and he just needed a finger.
He couldn't, just needed a bit longer fingers, Eric. He might have just got there.
Well, it's really weird. You look at it, how the play that ended the 5th inning, Michael Bishop literally got the Henley base runner out by a toenail. And in this instance, Kosei Suzuki was a fingernail short of being safe.
And I think the umpires did a good job there. They used each other. Who had the better view? They made the right call. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, Wilson Lee had the best view of everyone right there.
He was pretty confident he was out.
And Wilson Lee is going to make the play in foul territory here. So an inning started very promising, will now be clear bases for Austin Gallagher. But as I was just starting to talk, Bully, this 2-3-4 part of the lineup is the meat of the order. They're going to get for sure 1 more at-bat because we're only in the 6th here, but they might not have too many more opportunities to put their fingerprints on this game.
No, I don't think 1-0 is going to be enough to carry the game, but at this stage, they're doing a great job defensively. When they have got on base, they've been able to shut them down, which has been impressive.
Yeah, Rev and I were talking earlier in the game. We're thinking that 2-3 mark is going to be what the target score is in this game, and it could be enough. As a team, Henley and Grange have an ERA of just 2.25 and a whip of 1. It's hard to lose games when you're only allowing 2 a game.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't need a lot of offense to win those games. They do have a lot of offense, Henley and Grange, but...
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tale of 2 seasons. Prior to Christmas, we weren't scoring a lot of runs, but strong defense was keeping us in games and winning us games. But since Christmas, and the Giants have wrapped up, the offense has really started to light up, and that makes us a very dangerous team.
Austin Gallagher.
Austin Gallagher's probably only one good swing away from evening up this game, though, and he's the right man. He can do it if he gets the right pitch.
Well, the difference in this game is one good swing from Wilson Lee.
Yes.
Both pitchers have been excellent in this game. Both defenses have been really good in this game, turning some double plays, making some nice plays in the outfield. But Landon Hernandez not much interest in challenging Gallagher right now.
No, it's twice in a row. He's pitched around him. Doesn't want to give anything up to him, that's for sure.
Well, this will be in bat we'll watch with keen interest. At the end of the 5th inning, Michael Bishop had Darcy Berry run into his leg, and he looked like he twisted his ankle, but it didn't. It looked enough that it would be painful, but it didn't look enough that it would be. It's that borderline one, right?
Yeah.
Only Bishop will know.
Yeah, that's right. He's probably not going to say too much to anyone either.
Powerful bat, Michael Bishop. Austin Gallagher is a lot quicker than I think people will give him credit for, looking at that big lumbering 6'5" frame. But if Bishop can find a gap here, you might see some aggression here from Gallagher, knowing that runs are at a premium. And he's going to scoop one out towards left field. This one is back towards center and reaching over on the fence. Tyson Arnold.
It's good to see Tyson come back to our club. His dad played here for many years, was a Division I premiership player, and we've encouraged Tyson to come back, and it's good to see him back in Henley colours.
That one was a crucial catch that he had to make. It's a tough shoes to fill for Jack Partington in center field. But again, this is something that you've had to do throughout the year, because Pardo missed 4 games total in that kind of Giants gap there. So you've had to use it to a few different guys.
Yeah, I think he missed another game or two as a close contact with COVID. So we've had a couple of guys had to fill the shoes this year, and they've done a really good job. We had Lucas Bonnell, who's a young up-and-comer in Division 2, come in and do a really good job. Actually plays a lot like Jack Partington, really quick on his feet, good coverage, great arm. So, that's the future of the club, these juniors that are coming through. We've got to give them the opportunity, and I think Russell Hart's been really good at giving young guys opportunity. You can see from our infield, they're all young guys, and given the right opportunity and enough game time, they can really come through and play well for you.
Well, around the grounds, entering the day, the big story was Southern Districts. They had that surprise win yesterday over Sturt, which puts a lot of teams on edge, knowing that if they lose, then Sturt, they're safe no matter what. But Souths could cause some problems for teams. So, Goodwood, potentially facing elimination, maybe not, we don't know. Who would you expect to have a big game today?
For Sturt?
For Goodwood.
There's
a few guys you can name.
There's a lot of guys in there, but I think Riley Moore, if he has a day with the bat, or Steph Welsh, they're the two guys that can put some runs on quickly.
Well, Stephen Welsh has 2 home runs today.
There you go.
It's a 10-2 game, and Stephen Welsh has been doing this for a long time, and I would expect him in a game against the wall. Cakebread has a hit, Creswell 2 hits, Riley Moore with a hit, Welsh, Dylan Child, Matt Hutchings, all with 2 hits.
You look at that lineup. We played them last year in the semi-final, and that experience just came to the front. Those guys don't panic. They've been there. They've done it a lot of times. They're quality guys, and when the pressure's on, I think that's when they play their best.
Wilson Lee steps up to bat, yet you look at that lineup, and they've been doing it with the same formula for a number of years now, with Creswell, Cakebread, and Welsh as your infielders on the left side. Henley and Grange, I know that Darcy Berry's going off to school, but having guys like Liam Bull, Darcy Berry, and Koki Yanazawa, you feel like in 10 years, if they're all together, are they still playing baseball together? That's that kind of combination you have hope for something like that, right?
That's right. When they get that experience and they play that number of years like those guys you were talking about from Goodwood have, they'll be 400 or 500 game A-grade players.
Wilson Lee up to bat. We talked about that one good swing. He had a good one in the second at-bat for Henley and Grange in the day. Left field fence, home run, gone. It's been an enjoyable game, though. It's been a really good 1-0 ball game. I love these low-scoring ones. I like these ones way more than I know it was an exciting finish last night. I like them better than the 11-9 games that you see.
Yeah, the pressure's on. You know, one error in this game could be the difference. You know,
Or a toenail from Michael
Yeah,
Bishop, or
exactly.
a fingernail from
those close plays. If they go your way, you know, that's the difference.
How much does this at-bat change with Wilson Lee with no out and nobody on compared to 2 men on, but could have been at the end of the inning? Wilson Lee spanks another one. This one is back. It's to the wall.
Gone.
And Wilson Lee has done it again. Unbelievable. 2 solo shots for Wilson Lee, and Mr. Caps is getting it done.
Yeah, great hit. Opposite field that time. Just shows he's got power both sides of the field. I get the privilege of watching him do BP here a lot, and I've seen him hit 10 in a row over the fence, and you just got to sit back and admire how he can do it.
This guy is ridiculous. Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't have parked my RV out there behind left field fence. I think that's still in danger.
Unbelievable. Well, he had a pretty good game yesterday, Wilson Lee, by the way.
He had a great game yesterday. Some of his Tuesday night games this year have been ridiculous. Pitched the whole game, hit 2 or 3 home runs. He's a one-man show at times.
He had that ridiculous stretch where he went, 7 for 7 with 5 home runs. I've never heard, with 11 RBIs in that time. I'd never seen a stretch like that before. And then the next game, I think he went 2 for 3 with 2 walks and 3 RBIs. But he got out.
I know. It was a surprise to see him get out. But
yesterday, he did it with the bat. Landon Hernandez, he's got a shot. This is back towards left field, and it hops off the wall. Awkward collision as well, as Landon Hernandez will stand in there with a double.
Bishop's got something to say, no? 2 big guys at first there. It's a big collision. Hey.
There's a look from Landon. He was just
missed it.
A breath from going over the fence.
Oh, Landon.
But there is some serious pressure on the base pass now with Bass Noy and Liam Bull working behind. Oh, and if they don't get a hit, then you're going to have another ABL guy and Griffin Weber. That will be standing there.
Exactly. I was just told that Landon Hernandez's dad is watching us from California. Loving our broadcast today.
Mr. Hernandez, it's great for you to tune in as Bass Noy goes after the first pitch. It's skied over towards right field. Landon Hernandez is going to tag up from second. No, he's going to retreat back. That was a good throw in on the money from Spratt that kept him in check, but it's 1 down.
Yeah, I think this live telecast has really added another dimension to local baseball. It's good to see. I know we've seen a lot of interest in the club, watching the final few innings of games after we've played, and it's really created some interest.
Well, it's great that clubs like Henley and Grange want to have us around. We love coming down here and doing it. Wilson Lee, by the way, he hit that home run. Yesterday, his numbers, he was 1 for 3. He had a home run and 2 RBIs. He's now got 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, and he pitched a complete game shutout yesterday.
And I don't think he's finished today yet as well. He could go again.
He will. Well, he'll get it. He
might get one more.
Could get one more at bat. He should. You'd think so. You'd have to basically, all you need is 1 or 2 hits. But I guess it is mathematically possible that he wouldn't. But you'd think he would. He's amazing, Wilson Lee.
Yeah. And like I said, a great club guy. And to have him around, he's really interested in the juniors and making sure that they improve what they're doing. Spends a lot of time with the Division 2, Division 3 guys, especially pitchers, giving them a lot of tips. We talked about Taj Kite pitching Division 2 yesterday. Wilson's taken him under his wing.
Geordie Hodges?
Geordie Hodges is another one. And done a lot of work with him. And we've seen the improvement. Since Christmas, those guys have really stepped up. A lot more confidence.
Liam Bull up to bat with a runner in scoring position. A rare RBI maybe on the runner in scoring position for Liam Bull.
Yeah, they don't leave too many out there for him.
As mentioned, Bull with a .330 average and an on-base percentage of .398. So it's a pretty efficient season with the bat.
I think he's had 2 from 2 today already as well. So he's having a good day.
1 to center and then 1 towards right field, one that just jagged in there on that little loop. So he's going all sides of the field right now, sign that you're kind of dialed in.
Yeah, I think with Moselle pitching, he does pitch a lot on the outside and use a lot of off-speed pitches. So you've got to be prepared to hit it anywhere in the field. You need to hit it where he's throwing the pitch. If he's outside, you need to take him that way.
This has been the least efficient inning so far from Greg Moselle. I'm just going to get the pitch count on him. That's a big factor in this game is these starting pitchers are pitching great, and you'd expect them to. However, bullpen depth, a question mark, and that's when games could change. Moselle, right now at 76 pitches, so he is in a good shape still. He's got about 49 pitches up his sleeve, but those will burn through quick as we reach the later stages. Bull swings. Gets a second strike on him.
Yeah.
Or was it fouled?
I think it might have been fouled.
Yeah. I think he was at 2 strikes. I think it must have just got a
little touch on it.
Yeah. A splinter just hanging off the edge of the bat, knocking it away. Bull knocks it into the ground. It's going to be a tough one. Good hop from Suzuki. What a play.
Pushes that runner around to third, though. Puts him in a dangerous position here.
We'll get a look at the replay. That one would have been hard to track coming off the ground with a chopper.
He did a good job there. Come in and attack the ball. Got it on the bounce.
Yeah, it took that weird hop off the lip, it looked like, of the dirt. But the runner is at third, so Griffin Weber, a base hit, will score the run. No doubt about that. Inside. Koki Yanazawa lurking behind. The Rams are just a team that kind of grinds you out, and this is the third time through on Greg Moselle for this lineup.
This is good. These extra batters really making him throw those extra pitches, and he's starting to look a little bit tired in this innings. These are the sort of innings that can really change the game, especially if we can get another hit here, keep him out there for another batter or two. It's really going to test him.
Weber fouls it away. Greg Moselle pitched in the ABL for a long time. Was an all-star back in 2016. So he's pitched in important games before, and his best years when he came as a reliever where he had those sub-3 ERAs for a couple of seasons. So he's got some of the best hitters in the country out before, but one of the best hitters in the country in Wilson Lee getting the better of him today with 2 home runs. That is the difference.
He's a crafty pitcher, though. He's been around, really experienced. It doesn't give you anything easy to hit.
Home run from Lee and a double from Hernandez. Will they leave it stranded, or can Griffin Weber cash it in? By the way, it's now 10-5 with bases loaded for West Torrance in the bottom of the 8th. Are you kidding me? 10-6 now.
As we said,
with bases still loaded with 1 out. It was 10-2.
As we were talking, West Torrance's sort of team can get a roll on, get some runs on you really quickly. Got some big hitters in that team.
That's just like yesterday. It was a huge lead for West Torrance, and then Goodwood came back, and then eventually West Torrance walked it off. This is a crazy weekend, and Greg Moselle, a great pitch, buckles him a little bit. 7 strikeouts for Greg Moselle. We'll take a quick break. It's 2-0. Landon Hernandez on the mound. Ian Revel back in the broadcast booth. It is a pitcher's duel, 87 pitches now for Landon Hernandez. He's got 125 up his sleeve. He's been very good today. Just, how many hits? 2 hits? 3 hits, let's call it. And 3 walks on the day, 2 of them to Austin Gallagher. That whip of 1 is true to form through 6 innings.
Certainly is, yeah. No, he's just worked Gallagher around, pitched around him. You know, he knows that he's a dangerous hitter. And a walk's not going to hurt him as much.
Riley Moore up to bat, takes the 4th pitch all the way. So is this the point where if you are Austin Gallagher and you're coming to the bottom of the lineup here, is your message just, hey, boys, take some pitches, let's work that pitch count up, let's see if we can chase them, and when the big boppers, those first 4 come up, maybe we have somebody we can smash?
Exactly. No, you're spot on. As I said, you've got to get Landon out of there, no matter however you do it. Get his pitch count up to 125, and then just see what their bullpens can bring. As I said, it's a tight game. It's going to be a couple of hits that'll win a game, and Kensington have kept themselves in the game at this moment. Greg Moselle throwing very well.
Riley Moore, he's going to have to hustle this one out. Picked up from Barry. Bang, bang play, and it had to be on the money, and it was.
As I said, Darcy Barry, always reliable at that spot. Makes very few errors. Very clean. Just wanted to go back to that play at first where there was a bit of controversy with the Kensington runner going back into first. He's obviously pulled up short. Unfortunately, with the 2-umpire system, you don't get to see everything.
Yeah, normally if you had 3, you'd have somebody standing right there.
Yeah, and he'd be in a perfect position. But he's gone to Jack Treadray, the plate umpire, who can see straight up the line, and Jack's given him that bit of information to say, yep, he was short of the base, and that's why they called him out.
We have a very similar view looking down the first base line that Treadray would have from where we are in the commentary position. And you can kind of see from here, you're like, yeah, you look short from here.
That's right.
But you could see on that one replay before that the ankle, because the ankle was blocked at first base that from Wilson Lee. He had to reach around the ankle. There's no way that you could really probably see the angle from where Polton was standing.
That's right. He's looking right up the backside of that runner going back into first base, and that's just one of the...
And the slide came up short. You'd think he should be safe.
Yeah, as I said, but unfortunately Wilson Lee's positioned himself to make sure that the runner's going to get around his feet, and he's pulled up short.
Nick Carfora battling away here. There's 2 strikes on him, and he's going to go down on 3. That pitch has been located all day from Landon Hernandez, and it is strikeout number 8 here in the 7th inning.
See, situations like that with you just got to put bat on ball, put the ball in play and let something happen. Can't afford to strike out.
First pitch swing this time from Spratt, and it's going right to the left fielder. That's probably not what Kensington would have wanted. It's a 1-2-3 inning.
We just spoke about that, Eric, about trying to get the pitch counts up, and then you get a guy that, gets struck out, and then the next batter, first pitch, out. That just makes Henley Grange's job, especially with Landon's job, a lot easier.
Well, we're here at Henley Grange as it's time to stretch in the 7th inning, and their sponsors, again, putting on a show. There are 3 big ones over at ALH Group. All of their pubs under there from the Ramsgate, Exeter Semaphore Hotel, Henley Beach Hotel, Cooper's Ale House in Jeps Cross, Finden Hotel, Lynx Hotel, Andrew Gunn, getting it done. But what's great about the sponsors here is that every sponsor here at the baseball club, they have a name. They're not these big companies that are sitting behind it, that are masking behind these corporate dollars. These are real people putting up their own money on behalf of their business to support the clubs, and those people are just as important as the business behind it. So whether it's Grant McCarron at MC, Troy Smith at Electric Results, Chris Jansen at Westlakes at Foodland, Ben at Bencrete, the city of Charles Sturt. But how about Mark Tainty at Fairmont Homes? Another guy, you would have played with Taints.
I would have indeed, yes. As I said, there's a lot of guys running down that list that
Damien.
They're club people, and they've got businesses, and they're putting back into the club, which is great to see.
Damian Grant at Fulham, Dwayne Erich at West. Yeah. West, a good spot.
Adam Rowe.
Adam Rowe. Nick Thorne at Thorne Constructions. Bill Johnson, Century 21. Adam Rowe, Bortec. Aaron Box, First Things First Coffee. Matt Fazzari, Enzo's at home. I've got some Enzo's at home sitting in my fridge, ready to go. If this game goes late and I knew I couldn't make some food, I got Enzo's in.
Perfect.
Enzo's at home would be awesome. Nicholas Kluzak from Prescriptive Therapy. Tony DeMasi at Harcourts Plus, Monica Furness at Harcourt Shepherd. Floor it with Todd Pilkington. Todd Pilkington, a big supporter of baseball in general. He comes out to a lot of Giants games. Lisa Clark at Detmold. Ron Butler at Baker's Delight. Gary Johansson at Paint Supplies. Greg Peak at Peak Machinery and Engineering. And Brett Hughes, their new sponsor, R&B Hughes Consulting and Recruitment. Brett Hughes, welcome to the Rams family. Thank you so much for being part of the reason why we are able to stream this game. Now we have an update. It was a 10-2 game. Goodwood had a lead in the 8th. West Torrens just hit a grand slam to tie this thing up at 10. Darren Fidge came into the game. Now there's a shot over towards right field. It was a great effort out in right field by Spratt. And rolling around the bases is Yanazawa. He's turned 2. He's got to scamper back to 3. He might have been in trouble if he tried to push, but it's a double from Yanazawa. But West Torrens, we got the update as this happened. They were down 10-2, and now they are up 12-10. They've scored 10 runs in the bottom of the 8th to storm back, and Max Stagg is the one that's done it again.
He's having a weekend, though, Maxie.
Max Stagg has just hit a 2-run home run to put West Torrens up.
Crazy.
This is a wild weekend of baseball. Unbelievable. So it's 12-10 West Torrens. 10 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Are you kidding me?
West Torrens would have been just preparing for Game 3, and then all of a sudden, 1 innings and 10 runs, and now they've hit the lead.
Those are wild games they're playing. Meanwhile, Southern Districts, they beat Sturt yesterday. And the least crazy thing of them all is probably the most consistent in that fact that Wilson Lee has hit 3 home runs in 2 games, and he's pitched a complete game shutout, and that's the least shocking thing of them all because it's just like normal.
As I said, everything's gone topsy-turvy today.
Wow, finals weekend is...
Just want to talk about that play going into the ball hits the right field. Yep, Spratty's dived for it. Ball going into second base. Runners rounded second really aggressively. There just needed to be some communication, and I reckon they could have had an out at second base because he's rounded very aggressively. Could have had an out. Just some more communication there.
Ball check back. This is a big moment in the game. It's a 2-run deficit right now, and that's still very gettable, but Henley don't give up much.
That's it. And every run from here on in is just going to be that extra harder for Kensington to peg back. So they've got to keep it tight now. Greg Morizel's doing an amazing job on the mound. Only giving up those 2 home runs to Wilson Lee.
Grounded over towards third. They won't check the runner. Carfura across the diamond makes the play, so that's the first out. But now a sacrifice fly will score the run in.
Right now, Henley Grange has just got to do the basics. They've got the 1 out, runner at third. Put the ball in the outfield, score that run. It's about producing runs and just adding to your advantage. And unfortunately, Kensington just don't have any pitchers. I probably don't seem to see anyone getting up. So they're going to have to go with Greg as far as they can. And as I said, he's done an exceptionally good job.
He's been efficient heading into the 7th. I'm just going to pull up the pitch count numbers right now. West Torrens, 12-10. That was the first thing on my phone. This is unbelievable.
That's just blown me away.
Okay, let's take a look here. Where are we? Kensington. Score is doing a great job over to the right of us, getting everything updated on Game Changer. Some of the best down the row looking down there.
Another great breaking ball by Greg Moselle gets in front of the count.
So Landon's at 100 pitches. Greg Moselle at 88 right now, but he's only got 1 out, and he's in the 7th. That bounces away. Oh, that could have been trouble. That took a very fortunate Kensington bounce. Now, there's not a big backstop here at Peter Campoam Ballpark.
There's a few baseball fields where the backstop or the back fence is not that far away from home plate, which it's a choice you have to make, and Woodville's one of them. Henley Grange is one, and Sturt
is nothing. Like we're like a 5 feet closer to the.
I've seen guys that the ball's got past the catcher, they've gone to second, and they've been thrown out at second because the ball bounces straight back to the catcher, and he bangs them.
As an umpire, you are literally like against the fence.
You are. You are. It is dangerous.
Phil Acosta battling away, reaches down, pokes one towards left field, charging on, making the play, and the runner has to hold. Whelan makes the play, and Kensington get a crucial out.
Unfortunately, Phil Acosta just didn't get enough on that ball out to left field, and Chris Whelan's taken a good catch, and yeah, the runner just no way he was going to be able to get home on that.
Darcy Berry comes up to bat. He's 0 for 3 on the day.
And as I said, you just never know with Darcy. He'll just explode here. You can't keep him down. 0 for 3. He'd be disappointed with his game at this moment. So he'd be looking to get a hit, get that run across, open up the advantage a bit more.
Berry swings and misses. This one chips away. Koki Yanazawa, like a hawk, trying to wait for his opportunity, but Austin Gallagher knows the significance of this run. He also would be very aware, I'm sure, that Landon Hernandez is on 100 pitches right now. And
it just amazes me, though, Eric, that, here we are, we're seeing that Greg Moselle is on less numbers. Yes, he's in the bottom half of this innings, but he's been more efficient, and you've got a 2-0 ball game.
Well, the score is Wilson Lee 2, Kensington nothing. That's the score right now.
Exactly right.
But the Rams have pitched well, and they've played some big defense in this game.
Yep.
Darcy Berry.
As I said, it's a warm day out there, so it's going to start to take effect on the pitches. So you really got to concentrate.
Gets the strike called, and Darcy Berry can't believe it. He's got to reset and settle himself. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes, and after allowing a leadoff double and having a runner on third with just 1 out, Greg Moselle, can he get out of this jam and keep Kensington within striking distance?
Didn't see that pitch, Eric, because I turned away. But, yeah, mate, as I said, I think Jack Treadrow's done a great job today. That may have been the first pitch that he's missed. And yeah, we're getting late in the game, and everyone's getting a bit antsy about it. So we do make mistakes.
And you get those big reactions from players because they're looking for, they see these tiny, tiny little things. And they've got to reset. Every at-bat's an emotional ride for them, too.
It is.
Berry checks, swing. Did he go? He did not.
Didn't get the bat off the shoulder that time. So, as I said, Jack just needs to settle down. Big moment.
Big moment knowing that Wilson Lee is the next batter up.
And as I said, and Greg Moselle knows the significance of this out. You don't want to bring Wilson Lee to the plate, especially the way he's been swinging it.
Big pitch, full count. Berry up the middle, it's going to score a run. A lengthy at-bat won by Darcy Berry, and Henley and Grange have a 3-run lead.
This might be a good moment just to bring up the fact that, Jack Treadrow's called a pitch that Darcy Berry's not happy with, but overall in the end, Darcy Berry's just picked up a hit, so it actually hasn't affected him that much. And it shouldn't affect him. It's only 1 pitch. You just got to reset, and he's reset and put the ball up the middle, scored that 3rd run for them.
You hear Michael Dunn on the broadcast talk about it a lot, about looking for your pitch, where he would say, it's only strike 2 or it's only strike 1. The strike that matters is the 3rd strike, but as you'll hear him say, you can afford to give up a pitch that you don't want to hit. You don't need to swing at anything, and it's okay if you're on 2 strikes because you're not out.
That's right. As I said, pitchers are going to throw certain pitches in account to a batter that, the batter's not wanting to swing at it, so it's not my pitch. So the pitcher gets that pitch.
Wilson Lee up to bat. He's got 2 home runs in the game. Darcy Berry is going. It's a good throw, but Darcy Berry just had a good enough jump to put himself into scoring position.
Yeah, ball in the dirt made it a little bit harder for Austin Gallagher to get that throw over, and Darcy Berry, one of the quicker runners in the league, got there with ease.
Lee and then Hernandez. And crucially, the pitch count for Greg Moselle starting to go up as well. Both batters will be sitting around 100 if this inning ends. And then it gets interesting. But that run could be very valuable if Landon Hernandez is chased from the game. Although 25 pitches, you can get through 2 innings.
We've seen that happen before where Greg Moselle threw a 5-pitch inning where you get a double play and bang, and innings finishes really quickly. At the moment, Greg's just struggling a little bit in this inning.
Started with a double to Yanazawa. Wilson Lee tips that.
He's still challenging Wilson Lee with the fastball, which I love to see a pitcher do, you know. Wilson's still got to be able to hit the ball. Greg's challenging him.
Henley and Grange have not allowed a run in the playoffs so far. They've gone through 16 defensive innings, and they've been flawless so far. But these last two to try to book their ticket to the prelim might be crucial. Wilson Lee spanks one, center field. This is unbelievable. Wilson Lee with his 3rd home run of the game. His 4th of the series.
We could not strip that any better. Wilson Lee's got a pitch that's just a breaking ball that's sat up a little bit, and he's just extended it, put it straight over the centre fielder for his 3rd home run for the day, 4th for the weekend. The guy is just unbelievable.
3 home runs from Wilson Lee today.
And to think the first 2 weekends when he was back in Adelaide, couldn't get a hit.
This is ridiculous. You thought Max Stagg was having a good weekend at West Torrens.
I was down there yesterday, and Max put on a show. But my God, Wilson Lee's putting on a better show here today.
This is unbelievable from Wilson Lee, who is giving a finals performance that we'll talk about for a long time.
And you think about it, Eric, you know, it's 5-0, but you look at the way the game's progressed. You know, you think it's only 5-0, but it's blowing out all of a sudden. And Greg's done a great job. Unfortunately, Wilson Lee's just had his day with the bat and connected with 3 big ones. And that's been the difference. Landon Hernandez steps into the batting box.
Moselle now at 101 pitches. They've been on 2 strikes for a while here, and Hernandez swings at the first pitch, back towards the wall. It should fall a little bit short, but it's drifting. And having to bring that in center field is Bryce Allen, but a 3-run inning. Started with a double from Yanazawa. Barry cashed in a run, but Wilson Lee with the 2-run shot. He's got 3 bombs today. It's unbelievable. We've played 7. We've got our last 2. We'll be back. Well, Henley and Grange on the backs of, you guessed it, another Wilson Lee home run. He's hit 3 bombs in this game. 4 on the weekend. Landon Hernandez, he's up to 101 pitches. He's got 24 up his sleeve. Henley and Grange don't have any regular pitchers in their bullpen at all. They have guys that can throw the ball. That doesn't mean they don't have guys that could be capable, but they've had no players other than Phil Acosta, who's got 1 out this year at the Division I level. That is what Kensington will be banking on right now, is getting Landon Hernandez out of the game, and that's a good start from Whelan, who gets a base hit.
Yeah, Chris has just, that ball was up, and then Chris has just put it back straight over the pitcher's head out to centre field. Good hit. They'll need to try and generate about another 3 of those to put some pressure on Henley Grange here.
Well, if they can get a few runners on, it could set the stage for Austin Gallagher and Michael Bishop, but they do need to string together some hits. You're absolutely right. Bryce Allen now up to bat. He made that big catch in center field just earlier. Over the plate for strike 1. A wild weekend in Division I baseball, brought to you by Hilltop Office Supplies.
Just going to say that Jack Treadwell, I think, has called an absolute great game today. He might have had that one mistake. And as I said, you know, he's going to call 300 pitches today, and, you know, he makes one mistake. Those percentages you'll take any day of the week.
Well, just an update from around the grounds. Peter Paik has just hit a 2-run home run to make it a 13-12 game. West Torrens are still in front, but West Torrens were up 13-10 with 2 outs, and Peter Paik has hit a home run. So now it's 13-12 in a 1-run game. That is unbelievable. They scored 25 runs in this game. Yesterday was 20 runs. It is a full-on slugfest right now. But Goodwood down to their final out. If they lose, they will be hoping that they are the lucky losers. Hit to the left. It's a base hit for Kensington. They're not done yet. This is going close to the wall. They'll be pushing for 3 and getting down easily. It's a double for Kosei Suzuki. And Kensington are trying to mount a bit of a rally.
As I said, it's going to have to happen here. None out. Runners at second and third. Got Nick Platten, then Austin Gallagher, then Michael Bishop. So they've got to get some production right now. Bus News has just walked out just to have a little chat to Landon. As I said, he's getting close to his pitch count. Still got a few to go, but they'll just want to give him a little breather. Say, let's reset. Let's get an out.
Nick Platten, Austin Gallagher, and Michael Bishop coming up. There is 1 out already.
Oh, my apologies.
But only about 15 pitches or so left for Austin Gallagher.
Nick Platten's got to do the right thing. He's got to try and get on base, which then brings Austin Gallagher to the plate.
By the way, it is a final over at West Torrens. The team that was down 10-2 at the start of the 8th have won 13-12. So West Torrens are through to a prelim. And Goodwood are now Henley and Grange fans. As this hit over towards third, can they double him up? That slips away. It's going to score a run. The errant throw over towards second, so Kensington have a run on the board.
Great catch by Liam Bull, but a rush of blood. He probably thought that runner was off a bit further and made a throw to second, and he's thrown it wild, which has now enabled Kensington to score their first run, and the runner at second's advanced to third.
Austin Gallagher with a... They're going to pass him up right away. They've had no interest in pitching to Austin Gallagher today. He's got 2 walks on 9 pitches in his previous at-bats. And they're going to take their chances with Michael Bishop, who is 0 for 3 on the day. He is a home run threat. However, in the worst-case scenario for Henley and Grange, if Michael Bishop hits a home run, they still are in front.
Yes.
But they have had 0 interest in playing with Austin Gallagher.
As I said, you know, that's just the respect that Austin demands out there, that he's just such a great hitter. And as I said, they've pitched around him, and now all of a sudden they've got a situation where they needed to pass him up.
This is where Kensington are missing a guy like Sean Maple, who's off at college right now, just providing that little bit of protection in the lineup that you can't really do this, can you?
That's right, yeah. As I said, Sean Maple right here would have been just a perfect example. Can't pass up Austin.
Even if it would be Maple, Bishop, Gallagher, whatever that combination would be, it just provides protection to these two guys. It becomes a big trio rather than the duo.
That's correct.
Bishop with 10 home runs on the season. Doesn't need a home run, but the intentional base on balls is big because it means that you don't have to use the 4 pitches from Landon Hernandez.
That's right, yeah. And as I said, they're just trying to get pitch to ground out, get an easy out, get out of the innings, and then they can go into the 9th inning.
Staying alive.
Landon's really reared back to get that one, and Bishop's just got a little bit of bat on it and fouled it straight back.
Landon Hernandez has pitched a really nice game today.
Landon knows the importance of this out right here.
$112 pitches right now for Landon Hernandez. And Bishop just hanging in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. At this stage, Hernandez will at least start the 9th inning. And then it gets interesting. Out in the dirt.
2-2 count now on Bish.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kensington have their first run of the series.
Big pitch coming up here from Landon. This could be their season, right on the line.
Swing and a miss. Landon Hernandez with a big strikeout. He's got 9 of them. He's got 10 of them today. Landon Hernandez. A huge performance from him. 1 run crosses the plate, but the Rams still in pole position and up 5-1.
That's an outstanding pitch there by Landon. Just a nice breaking ball. Got Bishop chasing it. Puts the end of that innings for Kensington, where they were starting to threaten just a little bit, but been shut down.
Well, we know that for sure West Torrens are through, and all of a sudden they're going to be watching a game that Sturt will be playing with much interest if they can force a game 3. Do you think you go down to Sturt's up 9-1 in the top of the 9th?
Yeah.
You figure that game is over.
Yes.
Although crazier things have happened, but I think Sturt's going to win that game.
So
they've 1 hit. A big performance today, by the way, to Damon Arnold, who has gone 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Damon Arnold's been excellent all year long, and Sturt look like they'll be forcing a game number 3. West Torrens, they're through. And here at Henley and Grange, they're 3 outs away from getting through. Greg Moselle heading back out. And a big thanks, of course, to all the sponsors here at Henley and Grange. They roll out the red carpet every time we come down here. It's a great club to come down to. It's a beautiful day down by the beach. The newly named Peter Kemp OAM ballpark. Looking fantastic. They had a nice ceremony yesterday where Taj Kite, his grandson, threw out the first pitch, and what a season they've had. They were a percentage point away from having all of their senior teams making a finals.
Wow. Just want to make a point of Damon Arnold. He's another little leaguer that I had back in 2011. Yes, and outstanding. He wasn't actually going to be playing this year. He was going to be moving up to Queensland with his brother at Sturt Baseball Club. Got him to change his mind, and I think that's been a huge relief for the Sturt Baseball Club. He's just got better and better as the year's gone on.
Well, in an important game today, he's done the magic. Pitch count, by the way, Landon Hernandez is at 116. Greg Moselle is now at 102.
Good part about Sturt is that they've only used 2 pitches, and they've got Josh Tyndall.
Yeah.
He can start game 3, which, whereas all of a sudden you look at Southern Districts, what have they got to go with?
Yeah, it's going to be a battle for Southern Districts in game number 3, but Goodwood are all of a sudden big fans of Sturt, which you don't say that sentence too much.
Not at all.
And it's because if Sturt win, Goodwood will play Sturt in the prelim.
Yep.
And it would be West Torrens versus Henley and Grange, and my goodness, isn't that going to be a good series too, if that is the case, if Henley and Grange hold on here. There is still some work to do.
Yeah, that would be an absolute blockbuster if that happens next week.
First 2 balls thrown on Basnoy. facing his former teammate, Greg Moselle. Gets the pitch across the plate. Crazy year here at Henley Grange. How's this? Friday night is going to be an awesome night down here. If you're looking for something to do in the baseball community and some little events to check out, as Basnoy flares this one to right field. The right fielder has to keep moving back and finally caught at the wall. No, it's dropped. Dropped at the wall by Spratt and stepping into second as Basnoy.
I reckon Spratt's had that in the glove and he's made contact with the fence, which has dislodged the ball out of his glove. Yeah, just such a shame. Good effort by Spratt there.
Good look at the replay. Yeah, it just knocked out when he ran into that pole. But I was about to say, the Women's Division 3, both the Henley and Grange have two teams entered in Women's Division 3. Both have made the grand final. Both teams have one player that's in the top 5 of the votes on the senior getter, and both teams going head-to-head in the grand final. Rams versus Henley and Grange.
Yeah, it's going
to be a big celebration no matter what after that game.
Big night for the club.
Then the minor league before this game versus Kensington actually had a really good game down here as well. Kensington just got in front of that one.
Yes.
But a big year at Henley and Grange. They had the T-ball program. That got bigger. A lot of the top division players helping out with that program.
As I said, Henley and Grange have really done a lot of hard work over the last 3 or 4 years to really build this club up, and we're starting to see that come to fruition now.
Well, certainly go online and follow Henley and Grange on socials, because they do a really good job. And I know that Henley in October, they have their Come and Try October that will be rolling out. They do a free sausage sizzle and a great intro to parents who maybe have kids that haven't played baseball before. That's an unbelievable program to head on down there. So keep an eye on that as Liam Bull comes up to bat. He's got 2 hits, one to center, one to right. But a great program. The Come and Try It October is a really cool program down here at Henley Grange. So make sure you follow along there. Liam Bull, one of those kids that have come through the Henley and Grange ranks, as this one slips away and a runner in real scoring position now.
Those are those little mistakes that you just can't afford to happen. You know, that ball's not a hard pitch to catch, and unfortunately Austin hasn't grabbed it, got to the backstop, and Basnuj has advanced to third.
Bull, Weber, and Yanazawa do up at the moment. And Greg Moselle's pitch count starting to run up a little bit. He's been playing well. It's just Wilson Lee. 3 home runs and 4 RBIs.
There's the difference.
Ball inside.
We can check. Treadray called a strike on that one.
2 balls and 1 strike. Then now it's 2-2. RBI is out there for Bully.
Certainly are. And an extra one right now, just all of a sudden that run that Kensington scored that bottom of the inning.
Well, right now this game is slammable.
Yeah, that's it.
Inside, he went around. So it will be a strikeout for Liam Bull, and it's the first out on the board. Number 8 of the day for Greg Moselle.
Jack Treadray's asked for a bit of help, and yeah, I've just watched the replay, and Liam Bull's definitely come around, and that's a great call by Neil Polton. A few oohs and ahs from the crowd, but yeah, that's definitely a swing. He's attempted to swing at that pitch. Neil's made the call. How many strikeouts is
8 for Mosey.
Mosey? Yep.
Griffin Weber. 0 for 3. He struck out, grounded into a double play, and grounded out to second. He was looking for a big swing there.
Yeah, Griffin Weber not having the game that he probably would have liked. I've got a lot of vested interest in Griff. I've known him for a long, long time. Once again, another little leaguer that's back in 2012, and like the way he goes about it. He moved over from West Torrens to Henley Grange for whatever reason, but he's really starting to blossom in the last 2 years. I'd like to see him do something good here.
Swing and a miss. That's going to be strikeout number 9, but he's going to have to earn it. It's a throw down the line, and Gallagher did a good job of also keeping an eye on Bass Noy, who is standing over at third.
That's the beauty of baseball, Eric, is that one person will pick up the game as Wilson Lee has today, whereas others are having bad days, and maybe next week it'll be someone else's turn that they'll pick it up. That's the beauty of baseball.
Yanazawa. He had that double that started the party in the 7th. Darcy Berry cashed him in, and then Wilson Lee hit his 3rd home run in the 7th to make it 5-1. The other 2 runs scored by solo shots from Wilson Lee. Kensington just clawed one back. That one slips away. Bassanoy not quite ready to pounce again. Not that big backstop here. It's just a big strike.
Puts a doubt in the runner's mind at third. You've got to make sure that that ball gets far enough away for you to be able to score. And that one just didn't get far enough away.
Swing and a miss again. Moselle looking for strikeout number 10, looking to strike out the side after he had a runner on third with nobody out to start this inning.
Bounce back real well here.
Well, it's in the dirt. Gallagher will make the throw down the line.
There's
Moselle holds. He's got 10 strikeouts. But we're going to go down as the Henley and Grange will come to bat in the top of the 9th inning, or Kensington rather, in the top of the 9th, and it'll be their last opportunity to do it. And again, this great opportunity to thank Henley and Grange for hosting us down here. Thanks to you, Ian Revel and Mark Bull, for calling the games. But what a great club it is down here at Henley and Grange. All of their sponsors, ALH Group, the Ramsgate Hotel, Exeter Semaphore Hotel, Henley Beach Hotel, Cooper's Ale House in Jeps Cross, Findon Hotel, and Lynx Hotel. Those are the ones that Andrew Gunn and ALH Group have really pumped up here at Henley and Grange. All great places to go. Maybe Sunday afternoon, it might not be a bad shot if you're looking for something to do and you're watching the stream and you wanted to go out. I know that's where Jordy Gross and Jack Partington wish they could be right now
Exactly.
after this game. They wish they could be playing.
Yeah.
MC Sports, massive partner as well of the club. Grant McCarran, a legend around Henley and Grange.
As I said, yeah, he's been running MC Sports for a long, long time. Baseball, softball supplier in conjunction, in competition with the Great Trex, who's been around for a long, long time, and he's made a little niche in the market for himself.
And all of those partners that you see on screen, all those people making a big contribution to keeping this great family atmosphere down here at Henley. And it's been a season to celebrate all their senior teams competitive and in the finals mix. They have 3 teams playing in a grand final. Division I, they're hoping that they're going to be playing in a grand final. A big junior program, whole club involvement. You heard Mark Bull talk a lot about the involvement that guys like Wilson Lee have around the junior ranks. So it's a good things happening here at Henley and Grange, and you feel like at all senior levels they're not going to be going away anytime soon.
No, and it's great to hear that, you know, they get a recruit in like Wilson Lee, and he's out helping out the club.
116 pitches right now for Landon Hernandez, so he's got 9 pitches to go in his pitch count as Riley Moore comes up to bat. We have a final, by the way, over at Sturt. It's a 13-1 win for Sturt. It's a 1-1 series. That becomes interesting. We'll get through the scenarios after this game concludes. Hernandez. And his third pitch, he's got 9 to work with in this inning, and Riley Moore just taking a couple.
Basically what Landon needs to do is just get himself to the 2 outs, and then if it's below the 125, he can finish that batter so he can go to 130 if he needs to. But you've got to get those 2 outs.
He's at 120 right now.
It could be a tough gig.
Swing and a miss from Riley Moore. Nick Carfora due up. Poked into an awkward spot. Runner having to charge on from the outfield, diving down and making the play.
That's a great catch by Phil Acosta, running in from right field, diving. Had all the confidence to take that ball. Great catch.
Look, it's me making the catch. Phil Acosta just reaching in and grabbing it. He won their batting award last year. Phil Acosta, he can play some handy defense. He got clever with a bunt earlier in the game. He's had a really nice one, and that's huge because now Landon Hernandez likely facing his last batter of the game. There is one out on the board, and it's just a little bit more to work with.
Landon right now would just love Carfora to swing at a pitch here to get it out so that he can finish the game.
Well, this will be the last batter officially because this is pitch number 125. But what a performance from Landon Hernandez, who strikes out Nick Carfora. It's strikeout number 11. And
superb effort by Landon. And unfortunately, he's not going to get the complete game because Russell Hart's venturing out to make the change. But congratulations, Landon. Well thrown.
125 pitches on the money thrown by Landon Hernandez. He scatters just 5 hits, and he strikes out 11 in what was an excellent performance from the reigning Caps medalist, and what a game he had. I think he's heading right out into the outfield. Landon Hernandez celebrating with his teammates out in the outfield. But a big performance as Koki Yanazawa, I think, is going to get the call. He's pitched a lot in 2s this year, Koki Yanazawa.
Yeah, I spoke to Russell Hart during the week, and he said he's probably relieved 16 of the 21 games in B grade. So he definitely knows how to throw the ball. As I said, he's just got to get the one out here to complete this game for Henley Grange.
So Tyson Arnold is going to move over towards second. Landon Hernandez is heading out in the outfield, and I think Griff Weber's going to center?
Yep, he's moved over.
Well, if the score holds, it will put Henley and Grange automatically through to the prelim. And then the scenarios are this. If Southern Districts win Game 3 versus Sturt, then Southern Districts will play Southern Districts will play West Torrens, and Henley and Grange will play Sturt in the prelim. If Henley and Grange hold on, and then Sturt win game number 3, it will be Sturt versus Goodwood, and Henley and Grange versus West Torrens.
Correct.
And Henley and Grange, no matter what happens, if they win, will be playing a prelim here next weekend. And that, I'm sure, will be a fun atmosphere and weekend, knowing they've got on Friday night their Div 3 women's. And then this. Jordan Spratt. He's got a hit already in the game. He's going to need to string them together now to keep it alive. Yanazawa gives up a hit on his first one, so Jordan Spratt trying to spark a 2-out rally.
It's a great hit there by Spratt. Keeps Kensington alive.
Josh Whelan steps up to bat. Runner on first. Kensington need to string together a bunch now. Inside. Lots of wriggle room for Koki Yanazawa. Just got to throw some strikes and let the field do the work.
Exactly right. Just put the ball over the plate. Let the batters get themselves out.
Hit over towards third. Bull across the diamond on the money. And Henley and Grange are through to the prelim. Landon Hernandez, 11 strikeouts on the mound, but Wilson Lee with 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. And it's a sweep in Ramtown.
As I said, that's just domination by Henley Grange after yesterday's 9-0 and then all of a sudden a 5-1 game today. That's just dominating in the competition against a very good team in Kensington. But kudos to Henley Grange. That's a great effort.
A lot of people had them pegged as the preseason favorites, and there's not really too much reason to shift that thinking heading into a prelim, which will be against either West Torrens or against Sturt.
Yep. As I said, there's going to be a lot of people watching that Sturt game now that it's been tied up at 1 game all.
Because that has some big impacts going on. So, yeah, they're going to be a dangerous team, Henley and Grange.
They will be. As I said, next weekend's round's going to be tough.
You can follow all the action on Game Changer. We'll post the links on the Baseball SA Facebook page. But on behalf of everybody at Henley and Grange, especially their major partners, they were absolutely fantastic in bringing us down here. ALH Group in particular and all their groups of hotel, MC Sports, City of Charles Sturt, Electric Results, Westland Foodland, Ben Creek, Fairmont Homes, Full On Funerals, West, Thorn Construction, Century 21, Bortec, First Things First Coffee, Enzo's at Home, Prescriptive Therapy, Tony DeMasi from Harcourts, as well as Monica Furness from Harcourt Shepherd, Floret, Detmold, Baker's Delight, Paint Supplies, Peak Machinery and Engineering, and R&B Hughes and Consulting. Big list of sponsors. They have been absolutely fantastic all season long, and they've got a club going to the prelim. So on behalf of them, on behalf of you and Revel, on behalf of Mark Bull and producer David and everybody at Spacequake Sports, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got more live streams coming for you next weekend. Women's Grand Final, and if Sturt win, we'll do Sturt Game 2 before the Women's Grand Final as well. So
good job.
We got a lot going on. Make sure you follow along Spacequakes for all the softball action, too. It's a big weekend. Thanks, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.